So you want to go back to channel grinding, and I want to give you some advice on that, because that is like really the main thing about being a priest. If you're a priest, you're going to be channel grinding. And the way that you want to pick the spells that you I need the spell list that you're going to use to channel grind is what you're looking for is low favor and difficulty that is around your skill. And then there's a third criteria, and that is each spell kind of has a multiplier for how much channeling it's going to give you. Some spells will cut the channeling in half on you. Oh, and there's one more thing, is that the cast timer also affects your skill gain, right? So if it's only this one's a 9-second cast timer, that's probably not a good one to level up your skill, simply because the lower cast timer gives you lower skill. Okay. And then there's some that are just, for some odd reason, they just put a multiplier on the amount of skill. Okay, so I'm organizing these by favor, and you'll notice there's these two first spells here. If you are Magredon or Foe, these two spells are awesome. They will super easily get you to at least mid 30s, and you can easily use these to get to 40 channeling just by casting them over and over again. It's because their favor is only 5. And I don't know if you've noticed, I definitely noticed, the rate at which that you gain favor is so much faster now than it was before. Like, they buffed this and then buffed it again or something. Like, and then people are crying out that they nerfed it. It's like, it needs nerfing because it got buffed and then it got buffed again and then it got buffed again. So it needed to be nerfed at least once. Because, man, it was just insane. Like, a person could just sit there and cast light token, and then on the next tick, cast light token again, and on the next tick, and it's almost still like that. It's like so close to that. They kind of tweaked it so that it's so close to not that. Like, it's on the borderline. Like, sometimes you can get it and sometimes you can't. Right? Oh, yeah. Libela gets the 10% regen. Yep. Totally. And the ticks that you get are happening in about 5 seconds. Like, every 5 seconds you get a favor tick, and that tick is way bigger than it used to be before. And so now you can just, like, one tick and you're above 5, and you cast light token, you're going to get another tick while the cast is happening because it's a 10-second cast timer or a 9-second cast timer. And within that, the 5 seconds is going to be up, you're going to get another tick. And then right after it casts, you get another tick, and you're back to 5 favor again. So you cast it again, and you just do this over and over again. Right? Turn on your sleep bonus, cast light token over and over again. Your channeling is going up, and you do that to 35 or something like that. If you are a Venora priest, which I think most people are, you're going to be using, where is it? I don't know. I see it. Opulence. There it is. Opulence. Okay, because it's 10 favor. Okay. You might want to start with Bless, but Bless doesn't take you that far. I'm not sure why, but Bless is like one of those ones that has that multiplier that reduces the amount of channeling gain you get or something like that. Okay, so Opulence will give you a good channel gain up until about 35 as well, and also maybe into 40. But because it's 10 channeling, you kind of got to wait a little bit longer. So Vin priests, what they'll do is they'll sacrifice favor. Okay, so they'll put some favor item into an altar and sacrifice it, and some items will give you like a really big boost in favor. So they'll fill their favor bar and cast opulence, then they'll fill their favor bar, opulence, like that. Okay. Now, there's a recent change that happened, very recent, in the most recent update, that made this process better so long as you have favor. Okay. And I'm going to talk about favor as well, but I'll just say for now, favor is just items. I'm not sure how they selected these items, but certain items in this game have a high, what they call get price. Every item you can right click, and there's this prices option here, set price and get price. Okay, so if you click get price, it'll tell you think Venora will not provide much favor for sacrificing this. Okay, so this is not a good favor item. Okay, and so you can go searching for good favor items, but if you find one, let me see if I have one that might give me something that's not 0. Let's try this. This isn't even a full priest, a full thing. It's not even a full piece of cloth. Okay, so that didn't work. I don't have anything that I think is a good favor. But some examples are square pieces of cloth, like I was trying there, but that wasn't a full piece, so it didn't give me any. Cordage ropes. I think mooring ropes are not bad. Door locks are not bad. Few others. Okay, you put them in the and it's basically dependent on quality, and it scales quadratically, so it scales as an x squared. So whatever the quality is, if you square it, then that's sort of like the proportion. So if it's only one quality, it's not going to give you much. But if it's 20 quality, then you'll get a lot more. And if it's 50 quality, you get even more. And then that gets like proportioned. So cut by some amount. But I think they changed it now so that you can right click and get price, and it will tell you exactly how much favor it's going to give you. Like this will give you 1 favor, or this will give you 5 favor, as long as you have an item that would give you that. So you would create these items, you would sacrifice them, and now they added this new change. Okay, so now's where we're at the point where I can actually talk about this thing. Bring this back up. Changes to item sacrificing. Okay, so the first thing is that they changed it so that the timer to sacrifice is less. And the second thing is that if you sacrifice items that would fill your bar and then some, the extra amount of favor gets put into a little favor pool. So let's say you have 50 favor, 50 faith, right? Like that's your max favor. And then you sacrifice 60 favor worth of items. Then it's going to fill your bar up to 50, and then the extra 10 is going to sit in a pool. Okay, and it's going to sit there. I'll talk about this one in a second. Okay, but let's just say for a second that it sits there. And then you go to cast. So you cast, and your 50 favor goes back down. What's going to happen is that on the next favor tick, that 10 favor is going to, I think a piece of that 10 favor is going to get tacked on to that next favor tick. So that next favor tick is going to be big. Okay, bigger. Which will allow you to cast again quicker. Okay, so with this change, the new strategy for doing this opulence casting, so you first have to build up a whole bunch of favor items. You build up that stuff. You sacrifice a whole lot of favor. So if you have 50 favor, I think you can store up to 5 times your favor. So by the way, it's like the pool is 5 times your favor. So if your favor is 50, the pool is 250. So now if you have 0 favor right now, you can sacrifice 300 favor worth of items, and then you start casting. When you cast opulence, that'll bring it down by 10, but then the next tick you're going to get refilled because a bunch of that stuff from your favor pool is going to bring you back up. And so you just cast again and cast again and cast again, and as you're casting, the favor from the pool is going to fill back into your main favor that will allow you to just keep casting over and over again. Okay, so that's what they meant when they said that it's going to help channel grinding, because it will now allow you, if you can put in the time to get the favor, it'll allow you to literally cast indefinitely, so long with one favor, one sort of sacrifice. You can sacrifice a whole lot and then just cast like a ton of times over before you have to sacrifice again. So this third or second tick point here says pending favor will still drain when your favor bar is full, but at a much slower rate. Where did it say that it would drain? It doesn't even say it would drain. But then it says it'll drain at a much slower rate if your favor bar is full. Okay, but what they're saying here is that if your favor bar is not full, what's going to end up happening is that that pool of favor that you have stocked up is just going to start draining. Like you're going to lose that favor. And there's a lot of criticism around this. And I'm 100% certain they are changing this as we speak. Not sure how much I should say, but I know for certain they're changing that. Sacrificing items when your favor bar is full will still result in gaining deed bonuses instead of favor. Okay, so that is something separate. Okay, Tuxie, you guys have a good night. I know it's late for you guys. But for me, it's only 10:30, so I got lots of time. Sacrificing. Okay, so let's see. I can show you here. Let's move the window. So in the let's see, manage settlement info. Settlement info. Okay. There's a bunch of bars in the middle, a bunch of info in the middle here. Okay. The settlement is granted the following faith bonuses: War 0, CR 0, Healing 0, Enchanting 0.001, Rarity Window 0. Okay. And these bonuses will decrease by 15% per day. Okay. If you don't want these to be 0, if you want to get these bonuses, okay, what you do is you sacrifice items without gaining favor. Okay, so you can do this in two ways. One, you can do this as a non-priest. So Griffith here, this character, he's not a priest. So if I used him and sacrificed a whole bunch of stuff, it will go into these bonuses. Now keep in mind, these bonuses will decrease by 15% per day, so they will decay. So you should only be doing this if two reasons. One, you have more favor than you know what to do with, which nobody does at the moment. Or two, you're about to do something that you want to gain these bonuses for, and you want to be doing that like right after you do the favor sack. Okay. Now, one thing people like doing this for is the rarity window. The rarity window is that window of opportunity that you have. It's a 20-second long window normally, and it just happens randomly. Like it could happen right now. And if the action begins inside that 20-second window, then you get a rare chance, a rare roll. Okay. So for people who like to increase their chances at getting a rare opportunity, not get a rare opportunity, but increase their chances at hitting the rare window with an action, what this bonus does is it increases that 20-second window to up to 30 seconds. You can have up to 10 bonus seconds. Okay, so now the window is 30 seconds long. That gives you a better chance at hitting it when it happens. And the way to get that bonus is to just sacrifice items that give you favor. And you can tell if it gives you favor if you right click, get price, and it says, and this one says, you think Venora would not provide much favor for sacrificing this. So that is not a good item to use. You want one that says, you think Venora would give you 10 favor if you sacrifice this, or something like that. Okay, and you put that into the altar and you sacrifice it, and it gives you bonus to all of these things. In fact, all of these things will go up if I do that. Gives you more healing, gives you CR is combat rating, which makes you a better fighter. I don't know what war is. I don't know what war is. Damage, war damage. That might just be siege damage. So like if you want to bash a wall or something, I don't know. But what most priests want is this enchanting bonus, the enchanting bonus. Okay. This enchanting bonus, especially when your skills aren't that high, gives you a good boost to the chance that your cast lands. Gives you a good boost. This enchanting bonus can go up to 30%. Now, it's not 30% better rolls, but it's definitely tied into some kind of bonus. And I know there's a formula out there. Maybe somebody will link it. I don't know exactly the formula, but all I know is you want this bonus up, especially if your skills are low. Now, it is said that if your skills are high, your alignment is high, your altar quality is high, there's a certain point where these bonuses don't give you anything more. So there is a point where if you have 90 something channeling and your altar is 90 quality and your alignment's up to 100% and you have all these things, then the enchanting bonus is not going to make it better. But if your channeling is like 40 and your altar quality is like 10 or 20 and your alignment's still like 60 or something like that, this bonus is going to help a lot with giving you success in your casts. Okay, so that's something to worry about. Okay. I think I got to the end of explaining sacrificing and this new sacrificing system. But that's what this one here means. Sacrificing items when your favorite bar is full will still result in gaining deed bonuses instead of extra favor. Okay, so this is to quell the people's worries that, well, what if my favor is full but my pool is not full? If I sacrifice something, will I still get those deed bonuses? And the answer is yes. You'll still get the deed bonuses even if your favor pool is not full, but your actual favor is full. Okay. You may view your current amount of pending favor. Okay, so yeah. All right. Now I want to say my thoughts on this system. And this is where, like, I've been thinking about this all week, and it inspired me to make a video from the car again. I don't know if you guys caught that, but on a YouTube channel, I created a video from the car. I used to make these videos a long while ago, and you know, it was just an opportunity to say things that were on my mind between the streams without having Brian talking over me. Nah, he doesn't talk over me too much, does he? And I would just, like, anything that I thought of, I would just say it. And if something was on my mind, I would just say it in these videos and I post them to YouTube. And it's really the only other time that I have to do these things. And I figured that I'm driving a lot, so I may as well use that time to do something. And oh, Pigsy, you got something spawned on your deed? Oh, I can't see it. What is it? Champion huge spider. Yeah. Do you have a spirit templar to take care of that? See, you see that body of water out there? You can always run it, like have it chase you, and then you just go into the water. Move it away that way. You guys can't see this, but this is what Pigstree shared. He has a champion spider on his deed. Okay. Oh, you don't mind. Okay, so you have 65 fight skill. Okay, so so you're gonna dominate it or charm it. Okay, so back to this. This priest change. At first, I was really kind of like disappointed with the fact that the devs were spending their time on this thing. It's like we got that post a while ago from Ostentatio, and he basically laid out the system and said, "Hey, we want some feedback from you guys because we're planning on implementing this thing." And the whole thread was basically, "Don't do it. It's not worth it. It doesn't sound like it's going to help, and it seems like not a very good idea." And they said, "Yeah, okay. We'll take all of your feedback into consideration, and we'll let you know." Okay, so at that time, I really felt like that meant this is a no-go. Like, it's obviously clearly not a favorable change. The public doesn't want it, and it doesn't look like it's that good anyway. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to do anything. And so a month goes by, and we get that On Things Current post that says, "Hey, so we're going to put in on the next update, you'll see this the favor sack change that we described in the post." And like at that point I was like, "What?" Like, completely out of, like, I totally like thought they were not going to implement it based on the feedback and based on Ostentatio's last post. And hey, Methodical, And next thing you know, we're getting it like in the next update. And so I took a closer look at the system at that point. I'm like, there's like, what is it about the system that they're hoping to change? Like, is there something that needed fixing that this fixes? Is there something that this system helps or benefits? Or, I mean, sure, I can sacrifice a whole bunch now and cast a whole lot in a row when it comes to things like opulence, let's say, for example. But most people can see that you could already do that. Okay? And the way that you would do this is if you have a second priest or a second player to help you. Okay? And I know that that does put like, it is like harder if you need a second priest to do this. But let's say you had a second priest, and what you would do is you would, yeah, he can't charm it, it's too high. Yeah. Champions are quite hard. Okay, so if you have a second priest, that priest can link to your first priest. And what that does is it shares the favor from both priests. So now the main priest can cast and use the favor that's in the other priest's favor bar. And so what you would do is you'd use the alternative priest, like the alt character, to sacrifice at the same time as the main priest is casting. Okay, so you have this ability to just continually cast as long as you have favor, and you keep sacking with one character, you keep casting with the other character. Okay, so that's already in the game. And so they add this new system that allows that main priest to, instead of linking with the first priest, sacrifice a whole lot of extra favor and then cast and continually use that extra favor so you can just keep casting over and over again. So what, like I ultimately felt like that what it did was it allows you to do the same thing that you needed two priests to do. It allows you to do that with one priest now. And that made me wonder, like, why are they changing it that way? Like, what motivated them to say this needs to be changed and this needs to be changed right now? Like, of all things that we want to change about the game, we need to make it so that people do not need a second priest to gain channeling at a faster rate. We want a single priest to do that. And like, for the life of me, I just don't see the logic of that, because like, I know that the players would appreciate that, and it's definitely something that people are appreciating. But from a game developer's perspective, of all the things they could have chosen to work on, they're going to choose the one thing that's going to cause people to stop premiuming another character. Like, that just didn't make sense to me. So I'm thinking, maybe I'm missing something about this. Maybe I'm not seeing the thing that this is going to alleviate or help or whatever. So I reached out to Retrograde and I asked him, like, what's the deal with this thing? Like, is it like, what was it intended to fix? How did you guys decide that this was the thing that you were going to work on? Just to see if he had any insight into this. And I mean, he said all the things that like I just laid out to you, and you know, it was actually in that conversation that he made me aware that you could just link a priest right now and just cast over and over again. And so it's not like this change makes it so that you can gain channeling faster, because you already have that mechanism in the game. But when we got to that point in the conversation where I said, did you like, where I'm like thinking, did you like think about the fact that people would probably drop their alts? Like, was that considered? Like, were you thinking, oh, okay, let's do this so that people don't need to premium another alt? He said no. Like, they didn't even consider that. What they were trying to consider was helping players ease the channel grind, essentially ease it up. And I'm still not sure that this is the right move, right? Because I think as it is, channeling is actually not that hard to get up, right? Like it's slow, but every skill is slow. Like every skill is slow in this game. But then there's some skills that are slower than others. right? Like you have weaponsmithing, which is arguably the slowest skill in the game, or things like metallurgy or lock making. These are particularly slow skills, and you compare that to channeling, and channeling is more like leatherworking now. Like it's at the same level as leatherworking. The only difference is that for channeling you need a supply of favor, right? Whereas with leatherworking you need a supply of leather. And I would argue it's a lot harder to get a supply of favor than it is to get a supply of leather. Yeah, Shield Bash, there's another one. Shield Bash is really slow. Although Shield Bash is slow at the start, but there's a hump that if you once you get over that hump, it starts going a bit faster. Like it picks up. And that is around 10 or 15 or something like that. Once you get past 10 or 15, it starts actually going up. Like I don't know, like the shield, like to get that very first tick, that like you're a brand new character and you're trying to do shield dash, to get the very first tick is got to be the most frustrating thing in this entire game of shield dashing. It's like you can shield dash 100 times and not get that first tick, and it's just like why am I not? Why is it going up? But once you get past that about 10 or 15, it starts going up more consistently. It's slow still. It's just, is this game worth getting back into from the start? I haven't played in 3 years. If you haven't played in 3 years, then absolutely, totally, absolutely worth it to get back into it from the start. This game completely got revitalized during the Steam launch, and it's not just that it's like from the start, but it's like there's lots of people playing and the economy is thriving. And by that I mean things cost a lot of money. Like, and people are spending, right? Like somebody earlier was saying they bought 1,000 wheat for 4 silver. So that's like the going rate, 1,000 wheat for 4 silver. So you can become a farmer and sell your stuff for 4 silver for 1k items. And it's like the opportunity is open and there's tons of people playing. Everybody's at the same rate, like at the same place where they're just starting out and building up their deeds, and like it's just great right now. This is what Wurm is all about. It's back in the heyday right now, and so if you want to get in on it, now's the time. Because at some point or another, all of us who know what servers look like when they matured, that's going to happen. And then the devs are going to have to be faced with that same question again, which is what are we going to do to revitalize the game? Now, I have faith that the devs are going to figure something out at that point because they've always come through. This game is still around and is still kicking, and they've always come up with something that's going to revitalize things over the years.